Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Talks Live. I'll be your host, Squirt. I kicked Roger out again. Not really. I'm kidding, guys. I've got him. He's getting ready. He'll be over here in just a second. Watch this. You ready?
Ta-da!
Boom.
Man, when he calls, man, I got to fix some stuff.
When he calls for magic, yeah.
Everybody, welcome to the Trade Talks Live. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're back again, man, thank you so much for coming on back. It is Hump Day, Wednesday, if you don't know what that is. And this is where we get to come hang out and talk trades for an hour each and every day. So if you're not getting your dose of blue collar knowledge for the day, this is the right place to come and hang out and learn some new things, learn about the new things that are coming, different things like that. Today, we've got some national news, website reviews, business growth, service work, MET, which is Materials, Equipment, and Tools Technology, MEP, where the work is, instructor training, specialty, and social media spotlight.
I'm back.
As usual. Welcome back.
Tell us real quick about Leak Pro.
Well, we do want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. We build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And our equipment, it's simple, it's easy to use. There's not a lot of extras to it. It's the equipment, one wire to your headphones, and only a volume knob. That's the only adjustment on the whole device. So check out the equipment at www.leak-pro.com. But if you don't know how to do leak detection, you can come out here for an in-person training to the training center. It's a 2-day training, but we'll teach you every part of leak detection, from locating the lines, pinpoint locating leaks, even how to market the service for your company. So give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. I'd be happy to discuss the training or the equipment with you.
And what we've done with YouTube is we've grown a business. We've grown multiple businesses, to be honest. And I started out growing a plumbing company with YouTube. And what I've done is I've put together a deal. And it's just a webinar because I have people tell me every day, hey, we can't do that. We don't know how, we don't have enough followers, we don't have this, we don't have that. But to be honest, it doesn't take all that. So I put together a webinar to teach you the things that you can do to really grow your business using social media, using YouTube. So if it's something you're interested in, go to www.justmetroger.com. Check it out. It's a free webinar. It doesn't cost you anything at all. You're going to learn a lot. Now, let's jump into the national news. Here's the deal. High school juniors receive $70,000 job offers in skilled trades. Juniors in high school.
Yep.
Guys, now, I hope this tells us where it is, because I may go there and go back, start over again, because that's a whole lot more money than I made. You know what? When I started, I made $10,000 a year.
I think I started, it was 40.
Y'all suck.
I know.
But anyway, and here in Texas, we teach plumbing in some high schools. It's got to be part of your syllabus. There's got to be certain criteria met. But you get out there, you make about $52,000 a year the day you graduate high school. So a high school junior receiving $70,000 job offers in skilled trades blows my mind. But skilled labor shortages are so severe that companies are recruiting juniors from tech high schools. Offers include $60,000 to $70,000 a year starting pay for welding, electrical, plumbing, even with no post-secondary, driven by aging workforce and growth in the infrastructure, energy, and the industrial sectors. Guys, look, how long have I been talking about this? $70,000 in high school.
Yes, that's it. Like, times have changed. You get in a trade nowadays, you start off at a good living, period. I love skilled trades, love having the knowledge of a skilled trade in my tool pouch also, because it'll benefit you in so many different aspects of your life. You don't understand how many things cater over to other things in the way that you actually think and building a project, doing things like that. And all the problem solving that you kind of pick up and learn on the way helps you with a lot of things in life.
I want to jump on a question. First of all, Derek Sutton earlier in here even before Squirt.
Yeah.
Good morning to you, sir. Squirt says, good morning. Happy hump day. G says, do I stay in my small town, Pennsylvania, and use long-standing connections to gain experience, or pack my family up and move to Dallas, Houston, or San Antonio? G, I'll tell you what. If you want to grow a good company, I would move to not just one of these cities, but know what company you're going to move into. There's companies that are part of best practice groups that literally teach you good things. And then if you ever want to move back to Pennsylvania and open an amazing company, you could be a freaking rock star. So there's a lot of opportunity there. So that can be a good thing to do. Brother Derek says, yeah. Jeremy Ryan says, my daughter just graduated from OU the other day. Her first big girl job is only paying $60K a year. And if Mr. Ryan did not pay for her education, she has student loans that will be accruing. I was at an event the other day and somebody was talking and they said that, it was Friday. Said that there's an 80-year-old man that is in their group. He started out in the trades. He's still paying back his student debt. 80 years old, still paying back his college loans. He said the interest just keeps accruing and accruing and accruing and accruing and accruing, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. What starts out as a $50,000 student debt, a few years later is $200,000 or $300,000, and it just keeps going. Yeah, Derek, it's crazy, isn't it? And then Mr. Ryan says the degree was paid for by plumbing as well as my. There you go.
Yeah, buddy.
There you go.
Yep.
I love it. So, look, here's the deal. Are we ready to train them, or are we going to scare them off in year one? We need to bring them in. We need to train them. We need to educate them. Look, they don't come in knowing everything. Don't treat them like they're a master plumber the first day on the job. They're not. But if you want to learn more about this, search your state's CTE schools, career technology education. Mm-hmm. Many are actively looking for contractor partnerships. So if you want to reach out to these schools, look, the local school here that does it, I go in and talk to them. I go in and visit and say, hey, how y'all doing? Y'all got any questions? Let's talk about plumbing. Well, they all want to talk about YouTube.
Oh,
okay.
Of course.
Okay. But we can do that too. So it's not too bad. Squirt, let's talk about construction business owner website.
Let's do it.
And this is one of the most underrated sites for contractor strategy because this covers financial management, leadership tactics, operations and workforce training, and real world insights, not just the glossy stuff, but solid for both field crews and the people in the office. And man, there's so many good things because they've got a recent series on subcontractor risk management worth printing out for your office. And if you'll print out stuff like this, guys, look, we talk about if you want to grow in this niche, in this industry, in this trade, get up every day and study for 30 minutes to an hour. This is the kind of stuff you look at. So what have you got here?
That's it. So it's just kind of a layout. It's what I'm always talking about. You know, we've got to learn more, start learning some different things. Well, this is kind of the business owner. So it's a different mindset than what we learn in the field as just being the installer, the worker, dealing with the problems out there in the world. This is dealing with it inside the business itself. But there's some management stuff here to kind of go through. Constructing a culture of care. Like we talk about cultures and building these environments in through your business and stuff. And this is just a good resource to kind of go through and learn some different things that can help you in your business. Technology, equipment, safety. I thought the equipment was kind of cool. Different maintenance checklists and stuff we talk about with upkeeping your equipment, things like that. You can go through here and get some examples. Like we were talking about the tables. I saw one in here on the checklist, like a GC checklist for mega projects. Well, if you look at that checklist, you can remove a lot of that stuff and then dwindle it down for your smaller projects, bite-sized things that you need, but it lets you think about every single aspect that you need to do.
Well, scroll back to the top, will you?
Yeah.
Go to the marketing.
Okay.
See, this is something that a lot, and this is for construction business owners. So this is big construction, and not even big.
Yeah.
Maybe residential, but a lot of people think we're in construction. We don't need a website. We don't need marketing.
Yeah.
How in the heck do you think people are going to hear about you? If you don't have a website, if you're not doing YouTube, if you're not doing social media. I was talking to somebody yesterday and said that I literally got a job off of being polite to someone at a gas station. Okay. Back when I started my plumbing company. And this guy calls me. And it's marketing because I had my Jeep branded. And I'm literally I'm putting gas in. This lady comes up and she's arguing with her kids, fighting with her phone and all this. And she gets in, puts the gas in, and she paused and just took that deep breath, and you just saw it. And I just looked over. She's at the pump on the other side and all that. And then further down, I'm like, "How are you doing today?" And she just looked at me and she said, "You know what, I'm doing okay." And I said, "Well, you know, just look, smile. It can only get better." And she did. She started laughing, and we really didn't talk much more than that. No. But she saw my Jeep, and it saw that it was branded. So when I see marketing stuff, I'm constantly thinking. I used to teach my guys where to park when it came to marketing. And I love stuff like this because you can pick up something new to say, hey, wow, what if we did this? What if we did this? So it is. It's neat. I love websites like this.
And yeah, to find this constructionbusinessowner.com, like I wouldn't have thought of that, but to go in and learn some business, like I was talking with a guy yesterday on schools. Well, because of where his credit is for his business, he's going to have to take, in Florida, they require him to take a business class. And I'm like,
okay,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
He's like, I know, I wish everybody was required no matter what.
To get your RMP certification in
Whatever
Texas,
it was.
you have to take a business section.
Do you? Good.
And where I took it with Bobby Duran over in Fort Worth, he had, God, I wish I could think guy's name was Pepper. He's an instructor at TCU. He came over and taught basically economics. Yeah. It's like, man, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
That's it. Like,
neat stuff.
It's good to learn these things. And that's why I kind of pulled this side up, because I'm like, man, this is a lot of stuff that we don't normally get. We normally don't see a lot of this information laid out that way. And it's like, let's learn some of that mindset, because that helps you even when you are a worker in the field, because it starts to let you see the bigger picture.
And look, this all rolls into business growth. And that's what we're going to talk about now, because if you're not working on growing your business and everybody else is, guess what? While you're going this way, they're going this way. And pretty soon they're going to be way up here. You're going to be way down here. You're going to be like, what happened? We used to be the same size as that company. What did they do? Well, this is about embracing M&As, mergers and acquisitions. Okay. Small to mid-sized shops are merging to expand market share, combine crews to tackle bigger jobs, to share office overhead. And I mean, think about it. You can share your dispatching, your marketing, your HR. The strategy to scale without chasing all or every bit of a 30-man payroll alone, all by yourself. There's a Dallas company where two HVAC companies merged together that doubled their trucks. They kept their brand names and cross-trained technicians for seasonal gaps. Now, guys, this is big, because think about that. And I love this because it's two HVAC companies, but what if it was a plumbing and an HVAC company that are about the same size? So I used to think that mergers meant losing your name, but it's really not. It's about growing your reach. Now, don't get me wrong. When I sold Texas Green Plumbing, I sold it. They took away the name and they changed it to Rescue Aaron Plumbing, which is fine. It was their company. They can do what they want with it. You look at what you can do. I like the mergers and acquisitions. And, I interviewed somebody yesterday for a podcast that'll be on here, Billy Stevens. He's amazing. Such a smart guy. He's got Billy Go Plumbing Company up in probably around the Flower Mound area. And he's got a new software coming out that I can't wait to get in and play with. But to see what he's doing and the way and guys, you got to think outside the box. But it starts with acquiring other companies. So if you're interested in growing your business, there's probably not a better way.
That's it. It's becoming a more common thing nowadays too. And even if it's not, you're an HVAC business, acquiring an HVAC business or partnering with one, maybe it's that plumbing business, electrical. You can expand in different services to where you are getting more work on each job. But then, like it said, you can cross-train your employees to where you've got coverage no matter what, no matter where, no matter what the weather is, rainouts. Oh, I got a roofing company and this. Well, roofers can't work. Hey, do y'all want to go over here and help with some of this other stuff?
Yep.
Yeah, sure would. Like, so don't just think of, oh, let's acquire more of the same.
Everybody calls it rolling up. Rolling up is when Roger from Texas Green Plumbing buys 3 more plumbing companies. I prefer rolling out, where Roger from Texas Green Plumbing buys an HVAC company, an electrical company, a garage door company, a handyman company.
Yeah.
Now you've got all these different customer bases that you can cross market to. It is amazing. Stanley Orchard says, yep, says I took an $8,000 loan out for a year back in 2005, 20 years ago. Still paying that damn thing off. Stupid. At least I only did that for 1 year. Derek Sutton says, what website is this? It is constructionbusinessowners.com. So go check it out. Jerome Ryan says, you have to have validation for customers. Mm-hmm. You've got to look good, guys. You really do. And Matt McDonough says, Mr. Miyagi at Plum and Squirt, what's up, brothers? Happy hump day, or better yet, Whiskey Wednesday.
There you go.
That's my day. Manuel Gonido, how are you, sir? Great to have you in here. Thank you so much. And a special shout out to TikTok over here. How are y'all doing? If you got questions or anything, jump over to YouTube, the Trade Talks Live. Love to hear your questions or comments. So if you want to grow your business, there's different ways to do it. And this is one that I like is we're going to roll into service work now. If you are just doing construction, have you thought about taking on service? Because you can do it and you can address the labor shortages with training programs. Because more shops are creating in-house training these days. And I love it. I was actually with Dennis the Apprentice Friday in Virginia. And he's built his own training shop in his office. And he does it so that when he's recruiting apprentices, hey, Squirt, you want to be a plumber? Look here, you're not just going to come to work. You're not. Look, let's go back and look at the training center. Because with this training center, I can teach you how to do things right here.
Yep. Go ahead. Yes. With a training center, you can teach, you can give them hands-on experience without other thoughts and things going on. If you're on a large site or something like that, you can teach them in this controlled environment so that they can stay focused on the task at hand and learn that clear cut without any other distractions.
And it makes them want to come to work there. But then the neat thing that he realized is when he was recruiting journeyman, Randy, the journeyman pipe fitter, hey, Randy, look, we've got this training section back here where we train apprentices. It's like, oh my God, can I help train? Yeah. I'm coming to work here. I'm coming to work here for the training. So that's the only reason I'm coming. I love everything, but this is how I get to give back. So guys, things like this work, but you can split your crews in half in the field, half in the classroom, any way you want to do it. Hands-on mock-ups make it great. That's why when we do training for leak detection, we've got leaks.
Yep.
It's real leaks. We know because Squirt put them in. They leaked. It is what it is.
I know a lot of
they
people
weren't
they're
supposed
like,
to.
wait, did you really put in lines
Yes,
that have
we
leaks
did.
on it? I sure did.
Yes,
like
we
they're
did.
intended to teach people how to locate them.
But
so
it is so freaking good because people are like, this is real. Yes.
That's right.
When people come here for training, and look, this isn't about Leak Pro right now. This is about the training. But when people come here, when they leave, they're like, look, I know I can do this. Are these leaks easy to find?
No.
The concrete's extra thick. They're deeper than most lines are going to be under a house.
Yep.
They're smaller than a lot of lines are going to be under a house. They're not just pointing straight up where you can hear it. We've got them turned down. We've got them turned sideways. We've got all kinds of things going on.
Yep.
But it works. But you can have installation setups. You can have brazing booth setups. You can rotate the instructors different each week, each day, however you want to do it. That way each person gets to come in and teach what they want to teach or teach it the way they would teach it. You can train your foreman. You can train your masters. You can even train the apprentices.
And you can let all of those teach the
You
training.
let them teach it the way they see it.
So that you see it from all the different aspects in the knowledge banks because we all learn different.
But why do we want to keep training? I mean, what literally, I know why, because me, the more I learn, the more I grow.
Well, that's it. Like, and it takes me back to a lot of apprentices asking me, like, look, my journeyman wants to do it this way and it's going to take longer than if we just did it this way. I don't care. Do it the way they told you to do it. What? Why would you want me to spend longer on the job? Like, this is your man hours we're eating. I understand, Cub. Go learn that way, because you may get stuck in this weird situation. That way is going to be the only way out of that problem that you have. So go learn everybody's way so that you have more knowledge in your tool bag to be able to pull out and solve any problems that we need addressed in the future.
Because there may be a way when you're out on a job where you can't do it the way I'm showing you to.
That's right.
Maybe you got a different torch and won't get hot enough. You know what, man? I got to do it this old school way. Okay.
Yep.
But here's the deal, guys. Companies with weekly training normally see at least 28% reduction in callbacks and faster upskilling. If you know, I talked about this yesterday. If you've got your bottom 20%, your middle 60, and your top 20, and you spend all your time focusing on your bottom 20%, you're wasting your time. You tell them, hey, I need to get your butt up into that middle 60%. If you can't get there in the next 90 days, we'll be talking about where you're going to work next. Now you spend all your time focusing on that middle 60% to try to get them to be your top 20%. It works. Yeah. So what's the last thing you trained someone on, and how did it go? I mean, did it go the way you thought? If not, how are you training? What are you doing? There's so many great things that we can do to make our next generation even better.
That's it. And don't hold anything back. Like, I work for Journeyman. I ain't showing you. I don't want you taking my job.
Oh, I want to take your job anyway.
That's it. Like, what do you mean you don't want me to take your job? When you retire, you don't want somebody to fill that spot? Like, because that's all I'm trying to learn to be able to do.
And especially at the time, because he's in the union. Great, the union will shut down. You won't get a pension no more. Have a great day.
Like,
pull your head out. Think about what you're doing.
There are some of them out there. Guys, don't hold back any of the knowledge. Share what you know and shut your mouth and learn sometimes, because sometimes that's what you need to do too. And I know it's hard for all of us because we want to be that teacher for most of us. Sometimes even the teacher's got to be quiet, listen to the other side.
All right. Mr. Derek Sutton says, I love that. Like that. Matthew McDonald says, growing your business all depends on how you represent your business on quality. Yeah. Represent. Absolutely. Matt also says, growing your business development depends on how you show your quality of work, reliability of work, and relationships with customer needs. Then advertising on social media. Booyah! www.justmattroger.com. Let's roll into materials, equipment, and tools. Here's the deal, guys. There's some advanced construction equipment right now that do things that I'm telling you we need.
Like on the side earlier, did you see the skid steer with this semi-autonomous skid steer? But it was like for grading.
I love
so it. It's all automatic. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Now I haven't seen the semi-autonomous ones, but and I say that maybe I have. You know, the dozer that they brought here that they were going to level land with had AI on it. Mm-hmm. You just thought, hey, we're digging a 15-foot deep pond. Here's what the outline looks like. Boom, boom, boom. And you get on it and start going. You got to drive it and you got to do stuff. But it won't let you go too deep. It does a lot of this automatically.
It's tied into all the coordinates and everything.
Now, another good one are drones for job site progress tracking. Mm-hmm. Now, I've seen the camera set up where they'll put it like in certain spots of the job every week. And it'll just do a visual photography video type thing to where literally you can walk in each room and see the progression from week to week. Pretty neat stuff. And then the exoskeleton suits for lifting field ready. And guys, it's all getting cheaper. There's augmented glasses, augmented reality glasses, AR for layout. Yeah. Imagine that, because Randy loves AR. I've never messed with AR. I've done the VR stuff. But AR, you put these glasses on, you can still see. Mm-hmm. But now you're walking around the job site and you're looking and there's a dot on the floor saying this is where your pipe comes up. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And you press the button and say, are you sure? When you talk, it says, shut up, stupid. Put it where the dot is. It may not, but it should.
Pause on that YouTube video so I can look at this layout right now.
yeah, exactly. But got stuff like that for layout's great. And then pipe laser measuring systems.
Oh, man. That's... Into my estimate, I would not walk a job without having my rangefinder to where I could check heights real quick, because I worked in the industrial space. Well, some of the spaces I would go into would have 70-foot roofs, and it's like, holy cow. It's like, yeah, but look what they work on. And it's like, oh, yeah, they need all that roof. Okay. Well, let me figure that for hangers, all the supports, so I can actually adjust things. Machine. And it's just like, okay, most of the time I'm just kind of looking, and it's like, yeah, it's about 60 foot. Okay. But when you can pull that out, hit a couple buttons, hey guys, everybody on the walk, here's the roof height.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows.
You tell them it's 40 when it's really 70.
That's
that way
right.
they're 30 feet short. Or you tell them it's 120. that way they're 40% over.
That's it. Oh, that's 80 foot.
it.
80 foot, guys.
And here's the deal: you don't buy it to look cool. You buy it to save yourself. You save yourself time. You save yourself labor. You save yourself the energy of maybe pulling out ladders, getting up there and measuring. Stuff like that works. So let's talk a little bit about YouTube, because here's the deal. People ask me all the time, and I mean, even at the conferences last week, it was like, Roger, how'd you do what you do? And you start telling people, and they're like, look, yeah, but I don't have that equipment. I don't have somebody to do it. I don't have this. I don't have this. It's like, look, I didn't have all this in the beginning. When Colton shows up and pulls out tripods and videos, they're like, dude, you're set up. Yeah, but we've been doing this 7 years. We've had time to get, even one of my YouTube coaches came in the other day and says, oh my God, look at all your Sony's cameras and your G-Max lenses. Okay, that's what we need. But I don't have to take them down and move them. But it didn't start out that way. Guys, I still remember videoing the speakers at the state capitol when we had the plumbers rally.
Yeah.
I've got these tripods and I've got 2 iPads set up, and I'm literally videoing speakers with iPads about this far away from about
Okay.
5 feet away, and there's 2 of them right there. And I'm sitting over to the side because I'm not speaking at that time, and the wind's kind of blowing. It's blowing pretty good, and all of a sudden I watch one of my iPads just go, and it's slow motion. I'm like, I know I can't get there fast enough, and it's just, you see it fall, and it's like, psh, and I think I've still got that video somewhere. But you know, guys, it didn't start that way. But if you look at where I'm at, look at what niche, what industry, what it is you do, and imagine anybody in here right now, if you've never been on YouTube before, which a lot of y'all are, but if you've never been on YouTube before and search plumbing, you can go to YouTube, search plumbing, and you're going to find me. I teach people how to do that now. But first, I've got to get them over the road humps. Hey, I don't have the equipment. I don't have enough views. I don't have enough followers. Okay, let's tell you how you get around that. So if it's something you want to learn, something you're even interested in just learning about, this is a free webinar. Go to www.justmetroger.com. Find out more about it. Now we got Leak Pro.
We'd also like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks, where we build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And something I always suggest is check out the complete kit. That's the kit that comes with the nice case to protect all the equipment. Both devices. I built a probe T-handle style out of a solid block of aluminum. That's got a durable stainless steel rod on it for when you're probing in and out of the grounds. You hit some rock or something like that, it's not going to mess the rod up. It's not going to bend it. It's real clear sound. That's what we prefer for that meter to the home service, any irrigation lines, anything underground. It's perfect. But also you want that side kick. That side kick is the pistol grip style with an aluminum rod on it. That aluminum rod, it's a less dense metal, so it enhances the sound more than the stainless does. But that's what eliminates the layer of concrete. So whenever you go indoors, you're listening to valves, things like that, sidekick's great. But the best part is it eliminates that concrete for when you're listening to leaks that are actually under a slab. Either the home, driveway, sidewalks, wherever it's at, you'll want that sidekick. So to check out that equipment, you can visit www.leak-pro.com. But also, if you don't know anything about leak detection and how to actually add this to your business, you can come out and spend a couple days with me. I do a 2-day in-person training where I teach you how to locate lines. I've got 11 leaks under a slab to train you a bunch of different scenarios, directions, angles, different things to work through with you. One just outside of the slab so that you know what an underground leak sounds like also. But then also I've got a couple sewer systems set up. One cast iron, one PVC, to where we can go through, teach you how to isolate branch lines just all from the double clean out outside of a house to determine exactly where a sewer line's leaking under a home. But also we'll teach you how to market leak detection in your business so that you're the person that's found in your local area to do leak detection. So give us a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, and I'd be happy to discuss the training or the equipment with you.
And I'll tell you what, it's so neat to watch Squirt get out there and train people because he sees it, he understands, but he also understands the value of growing your company. with leak detection, most companies out there right now are 2 to 6 weeks out on leak detection. We hear it all the time. This is something you can come in and learn in 2 days, and the next day you're out in the field doing it. And think about the money that you're paying leak detection companies. You make that yourself, and you don't have to worry about them referring someone else. So it really is pretty cool. So we're going to roll over into mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, MEP.
Real quick.
Yeah, I saw that one comment I wanted to go to right here. Yeah. Linda Evans says, I'm excited to be on my journey as a plumbing apprentice. This is a field that has so much potential. You have no idea. And I'm looking forward to the day I can turn my skills into a business of my own. And you can. The opportunity to build something from the ground up is what motivates me every day. I love that because look, Linda, everybody getting in the trade right now are going to be not going to be. Everybody has the potential to be the next entrepreneurs in these industries. And I think that what you're doing is great. I just stick around. I hope you subscribe. Hope you ring the bell. That way you're in here often. I'd love to hear about your journey and how it's going. Derek, Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
Go Leak Pro. Absolutely. And Mr. Jeremy Ryan says, I want to rave about the 3 new pneumatic drain cleaning guns from Milwaukee. Hey, talking my language. Blows out condensates without a CO2 type cord. Air compressor already paid for themselves in the amount of time saved.
Nice.
Brother. I tell you what, I think Milwaukee is so far ahead on the tools. It's just, I love seeing comments like this. And it's not me because I know it. And I'm just like, man.
One, I love it just because Milwaukee's not sponsored here, but they are trying to find any problems that we truly have in the field as a field worker
Every day.
And they try to build a tool to help you do that task. Yep. That's amazing in my eyes. I'm so glad. Like, I've seen some of the cool nut runners and things that they build nowadays. It's like, oh my gosh. Like,
I think that's Randy's new favorite tool. He ain't even got one yet.
It is, but I can remember how many nuts I had to run up
you
a rod.
You literally used to run it all the way up your arm
all
to try to make it turn.
I know. That's it. So you can get that nut to travel as far as possible with every motion. Oh my gosh. It's
See,
crazy.
I was smart in that. I put the rod in a drill and just grabbed a hold of it with my hands and did it that way. But yeah.
That works. I've driven nuts into the end of a conduit and made an attachment so that you could do that. I built a lot of those for the sheet metal guys so that they could run some serious.
All right. So the smart building technologies, though, the MEP implications are game changing.
That's it. MEP pros are now expected to understand building automation systems. Okay. Occupancy sensors, app controlled HVAC and water shutoffs. They're going to have to do some coordination with the IT teams now, because that's going to be part of the job. There's so many things out there now that all tie into the Internet of Things.
Randy's new favorite words, the
That's
IoT.
it, the IoT.
The IoT.
Like, it stumped me once. That's it, baby.
I get it.
Everything talks to each other. It all feeds in to softwares and things that'll maintain everything. That, you actually sprung a leak. It's going to shut the water off instantly to decrease damage possibilities. Some of this stuff that's coming out is just, it's amazing. Now, it's going to be an automated building for the most part without somebody actually watching it and controlling or keeping an eye on everything as to what the temperatures are. It'll all be automation through the actual system.
Yeah, but the good thing is if you train your crews to run extra conduit and stuff like that during a rough end, even if Smart Take isn't installed yet, at least you know that when you come back, hey, you know what? We can do this. And it does, it works because you're either future ready or you're doing a future retrofit for free.
Yep.
Because they're going to call back sooner or later because this new equipment coming out, guys, it's going to be smart. And it's going to be either you don't upgrade or you go smart.
Yep.
And if you're building the building and you're prepping for it and you're ready for it, it's going to do good. It's going to keep doing good, but be ready for it. Become the company that understands smart buildings better than anybody else.
Build for the future, not just for the now.
Randy, where's the work at?
Man, urban redevelopment initiatives. Okay.
Now, these have been going on a lot, and we love
They
them.
have.
They're so cool.
There's some opportunities in major cities. Cities like Atlanta and Indianapolis and Denver. And we've seen this. We were at Indianapolis back in February.
Can't believe they closed our restaurant.
Construction everywhere. I know.
That's so sad.
I still have my Nada coaster sitting on my table over there
and
at
our
the
Nada,
house.
and our Nada bottle opener over
And
here.
I sure do. I got one of those hanging at the house too. Like, missed that place already.
I know. Sorry, Atlanta or Indianapolis.
That's
Yeah.
it. But they're all pushing for mixed use construction. Like Indianapolis, we stayed at an Airbnb. It was an old
Office building.
office building. They knocked out some walls, changed out the layouts, and
And it's pretty cool.
rent an Airbnb now, and not a bad location. I built high rises. I was always like, you could just take some of these floors and turn them into a residential space and just live here. It'd be great. So they're starting to do that. Hotels and residential and restaurants all together. And the one we were actually in, another part of that building was a hotel. So it's all feeding in together, guys. They're starting to change this. It's creating a lot of job opportunities down in these city spaces. We know there's a lot of population, so there's high demand for it. There's also a lot of transit upgrades going on to make it more accessible.
And that's all part of LEED. That's all part of
That's it.
building greener buildings. Can somebody work in this area and just get on a bus and go to work? That way they don't have to drive. Can they get on a train? I mean, look at the rail system around Dallas.
Yep.
When you were a kid, it didn't even exist.
Ooh.
And now, when I was a kid, matter of fact, we had stagecoaches and covered wagons when I was a kid.
I bet.
Yeah, well, you used to ask me that when you were a kid. Did you ride a horse to
Did
school?
you ride a horse
Yeah.
to school?
Yeah, I sure did.
Yeah. But yeah, like it is the rail system. I use it as often as I can, really. Especially when we fly out of one airport and got to fly back home in another one. Oh my gosh, the rail was amazing for me.
That's right. Where'd you rode from Love Field to DFW?
Love
the other
Field
way
to
around?
DFW. Yeah, I rode that day. I rode a plane, a train, a
bus, and
car,
an
a
automobile.
bus, a van, a truck.
And a
Almost
unicycle. And he didn't
everything.
want to admit
That's
to
it.
that one.
Like
That was funny.
Yeah, the last part was I did walk some too. So
There you go.
use a little bit of every mode of transportation.
It's
that
whatever
day.
it takes, brother. Whatever it
But
takes.
it was green,
Yeah.
so
And green space builds require all the trades.
Yes.
Okay, think about that. You've got big demolition coming in, fire systems, fire suppression systems, commercial plumbing, residential plumbing, commercial and residential electrical and HVAC, lighting, finishing, all kinds of stuff.
that's it.
And it feeds everybody.
Always, and don't chase the GC. Chase the public notice. These
Then you're
projects.
ahead of some of the GCs.
Well, that's it, because a lot of these projects are built on city dollars.
Yeah.
Because it's down in the core, it's in the majors. They're playing ball down there.
And the good thing is, if you're there before the GCs are, then when you find out what GCs are bidding, you're like, yeah, we've been looking at this for 3 weeks already. They're like, wait, what?
Yep.
We just heard about it. Okay. What would you like to know? What can I help you with?
I've already been talking with the customer on that one.
Yeah, I've
And
met
they're
the,
just
I've
like,
taken
wow.
I've taken the customer out to dinner 3 times. You want to go next time?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's roll into instructor training. And I like this. We talked about it earlier.
A little bit collaborative learning here, guys. Peer-to-peer teaching models. And just like you were saying, journeyman teaching that. Have the apprentices teach other. Okay? Let apprentices teach each other for 5-minute topics.
Or even let them teach a journeyman. Because here's the deal. If you've got a mixed training class, I used to have apprentices that literally, we'd go out and do something. They'd go home that night and Google it and come up with 3 different ways. And they come and be like, hey, man, I found 3 different ways that we could have done that. It's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, look at this. This was pretty cool. This one was easier. This one was faster. You need a different tool, but they got it done in half the time it took us. Okay, I'll buy that tool.
That's it. Like, I can remember having to do lead a safety in the morning one time. Well, a lot of the workers on the job were high-end superintendents waiting on their jobs to open. So it was like leading a bunch of superintendents, and it was a little overwhelming at first, but it's like, look, I do this all the time. It doesn't matter who's standing there. Right. Let's teach them the same thing and hit it just like I always do. And that helps build some confidence for sure, because it was some of our top superintendents at a very large company. And it was like, man, like, dude, they run some large jobs and they're just installing some work here, like listening to me on safety. Really? Yes.
But the good thing about that, it also reveals some weak points, just so they can say, hey, Brandy, you didn't mention the fall protection, and it's like, yeah, you know what, you're right. I didn't even think about that. I'm focused on the pipe and the anchors and the hangers. So yeah, it's neat.
Yeah, and that can really lock in their understanding of them explaining the different parts. Hey, you overlooked this step. Oh man, let me think about that.
What are some good topics that apprentices could talk about?
Honestly, one of the best ones that I learned early, lockout, tagout. One of the most important things. Now, I was working at TI, so lockout, tagout was like number one priority.
There may be
out
50
there.
locks on a valve.
Yeah,
and I think I said on a valve.
Correct.
It's not just electrical.
It's not just electrical, because that's where I learned it more, was on valves.
Any source of energy.
Until I hit a piece of equipment, then it's like, oh, well, here's the clasp to actually lock out an electrical panel. And it's like, holy cow, they make a little thing to actually cover that and lock it up. And yes, they do.
Absolutely.
And you'll see 50 locks hanging off of it.
Yeah.
Also, like, how to use basic equipment, how to use a hammer drill. I mean, apprentices, we know the hammer drill should be in your hands. Can you teach everybody how to use it?
Yes.
The right way? But why we don't...
I've done that before on a hammer drill.
Yeah.
And I've taken off the side, the second handle, and just handed it to them and say, hey, I want you to do a demonstration. This is where I'm like, okay. And they grab it and they don't think about it because it's not right there. Yeah. And as soon as they get started, it's like, wait a minute, where's your other handle? And they're like, I don't know, where's it at? It's like, it's over in the box. Make sure you put it on. I'm like, okay. But it makes everybody think about it.
That's it. Another good one feeds right off of lockout, tagout is don't backfeed a panel. Here's why. Because if you backfeed, that lockout, tagout, it's not doing any good.
That's right.
So you can also do some classroom format stuff where you just run them through. Let them assign it to somebody. Let them present. Let the peers critique it.
And a peer critique is good. That way you get everybody's input.
You get that feedback. But then even a group demo. Like me getting stuck in front of all the superintendents, man, guess what? Hey, we've got a lot of safety going on. We got everybody in the office. Oh, there's this many apprentices. We want y'all to teach this portion. And we're going to give you the topic. We're going to assign it to you, give you some talking points and things, and see how you lead. And, if they can teach it, they know it. If not, it's time to retrain. It's one of the easiest ways to learn from this full process.
And the good thing is, if you ask an apprentice, hey, I want you to teach us, you're like, no, I can't. Okay, then let's get you in training. And they're like, well, wait, why? What do you mean? Because believe it or not, training's, look at me, so much fun.
Can be.
It can
do it right.
It can be. All right. Here we go. Jump in here. Okay. Matt says he remembers his coworker using a Milwaukee air gun blowing out a wax ring. Yeah, you be very careful. Retro frock, what I call it. Yes, it's a frock, all right. Yeah. It could be worse. Me and Squirt could squeeze into a smart car for a road trip.
Yeah,
y'all have fun. I try not to do road trips.
Hopefully the seats go back far enough in that little thing.
Matt says, I love to have shop talks on site with apprentices. They will keep you on your toes, but it breaks down the teacher and student barrier. Then we can all learn together. Amazing. Yes, indeed. And Derek says, that's what I'm going to learn, or willing to learn. Look, man, we've all got to be willing to learn. Yep. So it's how we get better. It is how we get better. Now, I like this one because I'm a lead AP. I don't know if y'all know that, but I mean, it's something it's a national certification for architects and engineers. The test, the book, everything is designed by architects and engineers. and I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm Roger Wakefield. I'm just a plumber. And when I studied for that test, this is one of the things that got me, the green roofing systems.
We're going to have to make you start going, I'm just a plumber.
Just a,
We're going to have to make you air
just a
quote it.
plumber. but I tell you what, it's funny because I spoke on stage here a while back, and I started off, said, hey, I'm Roger Wakefield. I'm just a plumber. I went through things, tried to talk about YouTube and what I teach and what I'll do that. And when I finished, I said, I'm Roger Wakefield, more than just a plumber. And they're like, there you go. But sustainable building practices, look, guys, these are often required in LEED or local code in urban zones. And installers must understand that you got to think about your drainage layers, your soil media, because some of these green roofs now have plants on them. You've got to have flashings with a root barrier in a case like that. And this is a big upsell for roofing crews used to single ply and used to TPO type installs.
Yep. So
understanding this, and look, these roofs, if you've ever been like in a high rise in, I'm going to say New York's probably where I saw it the most, but there's a lot of different cities that if you're in a high rise, look out, you'll see greenscaping on top of a roof.
we did them in Frisco on hospital.
Yeah.
Like in the recovery wing, they built a patio up on the upper floors where you could go out, and it had trees. It had a lot of greenery to.
And I know it's called green, but this ain't hippie roofing.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's code now in places like New York, Chicago, Austin, Texas. Hook 'em horns. Sorry,
it's probably a good roof for hippies to hang out on, though.
Depends on what you're growing. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they could be up there cultivating it.
That's it. And that's it. Like, this is becoming a bigger thing, even in other parts of the country. Like I said, we've got one not too far. Like, this is becoming a normal thing. And I think the reason they did it at the hospital is if they can't always go down, they don't need to take them all the way to the ground and out and do all these things. Well, let's give them a spot where they can go out and be by the trees and things like that, because a lot of us really do love nature and being around it.
And I tell you what, it's neat to see it. I mean, when you're up there and you're walking around on a roof and you're like, man, this is a freaking roof. Mm-hmm. And not like that. This is a roof in New York City. And you're walking around, and I mean, it's like flower gardens. It's like grass and lantana and just cool stuff covering it up. And it keeps the shade on the roof so the sun doesn't directly penetrate the roof. So it is really just a cool deal. And if you learn to look at it like that, it's not just building a roof. It's not just greenscaping. It's building it greener. If you can use these plants and dirt and all this to help keep the AC under control inside, keep from using less energy, guys, that's what it's all about. So we're going to roll into social media, and we're going to spotlight roofing today. And today we're talking about the Tar Master. So it's _Tar Master. And what he talks about really is showcasing green asphalt and install work on job sites, walkthroughs. Now, he's heavy on education, humor, and relatable blue-collar moments. Now, I don't know if there's any blue-collar moments that are relatable. Okay, maybe there are. We have fun. But he builds trust through short-form videos that show what real roofing looks like. What did you like about this?
Okay, so a little different than our norm.
Okay.
This is a Florida roofer. It's been shingling for 23 years. Works alone, and tar is code there. So it's a lot of tar roofing, which...
I was hoping so by the name.
Yep. 147 million views.
Okay, doing great.
So
and how many subs were there?
243,000 subs here. He says he's larger on TikTok, I believe is what it said.
I love that.
Yeah, post regularly on TikTok. Come find him there. We love YouTube. That's what we stream on.
And he is an old hippie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just looking at him. Nothing bad.
Hey.
Look, guys, I used to have hair down to my waist.
Me too.
Yeah, I know.
But like, I just like it because it's a different style roofing. It's not something that we just see all the time here,
Right.
Unless it's like a commercial roof or something. Then you'll see some tars and things out doing asphalt.
Tires?
Tar.
Oh.
Tarers, I guess is what I
I know.
said.
That's what I
Probably.
thought you said tires. I say, wait a minute.
Or
Redneck
tar
accent.
masters, I guess
You
we'll
redneck
say.
accent.
But does some different live streams, things like that. But the shorts, man, like we're saying, very instructional shorts, teaching the different things, plastic cements, snapping the lines, Florida coats. He's going to teach you every part of doing a roof there in their area. And that's one of the things that I like is to see how things are done different in other places.
And guys, when we shoot plumbing videos, we do it the way we do it here.
That's right.
Okay. You don't see me using ABS like they do out in that West Side state. I mean, you just don't do it. When I'm doing an install, unless I'm showing you how to do something, I solder. It's what we do. But he's got some cool stuff.
He does. And it's all POV. One of my favorites. I wonder if he's using meta glasses or not. And it's showing off what he does for a living. And he's trying to teach other people how to do it. That's what the trades are about. Learning the skill and passing the skill on to others so that they can do the same and help you move further and forward ahead. So pretty cool. Different techniques, different styles, just something a little different than the norm.
And we look, I don't see, unless it's a commercial roof, I don't see a lot of tar
Yep.
here in Texas. So to be able to see a channel set up like this and do stuff like this, it's pretty neat. But if you want a real roofer on your feed, not someone just reviewing boots and jacks and stuff like that, follow this guy. Actually, pretty cool stuff. So I was in, me and Colton, were in Virginia the other day with PHCC. And it was really neat because between that and my interview yesterday, I want to talk about best practice groups. And look, some of y'all have been in here for a while now. Some of y'all have been in the trades for a while. Do y'all understand best practice groups, what they do or anything like that? Because it blows my mind. I was in the trades for 35 years before I understood or even knew what a best practice group was. And it may have even been longer than 35 years. No, it probably was. No, it's probably right at 35 years. And I've got to talk to the presidents and founders of some of these best practice groups. And it's like, people don't know y'all are out here. So I'm asking y'all, and you can send me a message if you don't want to put it in here or anything like that. But I would really love to know what y'all know about best practice groups, what you think about them, because it was so great getting to talk to Billy Stevens yesterday. Because, he took a company and literally like 10x'd it in just a few years. And I started asking him what all he did or how he did it. So, I mean, this is going to be a really good video. But when I start talking to best practice groups and they're like, oh yeah, we're marketing, we're doing this. And I'm like, no, guys, you're not, it's not working. Because other than me being in here, I never hear about it. So anyway, kind of crazy. Matt McDonough says, I remember it being lead AP. Yeah. Expert plumber.
Yep.
Yes. And it's LEED, Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design.
All caps.
All caps. Yep. And it is. and that's the legal way to do it.
Pallets. Yep.
Denver Charlie says, I'm starting to not like Union for Plumbing. And I'm assuming that's Denver Charboy. For Union for Plumbing, I feel like most of the jobs I'm at is hour and 30 minutes away, and we don't get any travel pay. Man, I'm in Dallas, so I get it. I used to drive to Fort Worth.
I've done it. Yep.
We do it for a while.
Yep.
But then when you get a job that's 10 minutes down the street, you're at an advantage and nobody else is.
That's it.
So there's benefits to both sides. And Denver, you're gonna grow and you're gonna make more money, and it'll feel a lot better. Andrew Brown says, one question I get from tradespeople is, how do I make the leap from a plumbing tech in the field to building a business? Two different skill sets. And, and somebody asked me earlier, Andrew, and it's good to see you in here, brother. Somebody asked me earlier about, do they stay in a small town and work, or do they move to a big town? And I think they said like Dallas, Austin, or Houston. I said, look, I would move to a big town, but know what company you're going to work for. There are companies out there that really invest in your training. And to me, if somebody came into a big town, say I lived out in Greenville, okay, 30, 40 miles away, 30, 40 miles from me, so 60, 70 miles from Dallas.
Yep.
But if I moved to Dallas and worked for 4 or 5 years at one of these companies that train you to do things the right way, I'm going to be a damn good plumber. I'm going to understand communication and sales and skills and how to set prices and why our prices are set like this. And if I can move up into management, I'm even going to understand more. So I love this. But that's what I would do. Then go back to my town and start my business from scratch because I would understand marketing and growth. But I also like the idea of being in a best practice group and learning from that. Denver says, Roger, when you ever worked union, did you have to travel an hour and 20 minutes to a job site at all? Yeah, me and Randy both did.
Yeah, it happens. When you are an apprentice, Denver, though, sometimes you can try to talk to the superintendent on the job or something.
Say, hey, look, I don't make that much money. I've got to go to school. I've got this.
This
I've
is
got
how
that.
far I'm driving. Is there any way we can work a deal or something? I think whenever they did Texhoma now, it was at the furthest point of our jurisdiction end, but I think they were giving all the apprentices some gas cards to help cover.
That's cool.
And because they knew they were kind of at a disadvantage because it was so far away.
Matt says, I wonder how much it would cost me to mow a roof. I've seen a roof with grass growing on it. I love it. Best practice groups. We had training groups named that for work practices. And Matt says, hey, what's up, Andrew? Good to see Brother Andrew Brown in the house.
Yeah.
Guys, if you've ever thought about doing YouTube, if you've ever thought about doing social media, number one, I would recommend YouTube. Start with it. And my reason is you can take that long form content and repurpose it into other things. But if you're one of those people that says, look, I can't do YouTube. I can't do YouTube because you can.
Bull.
Yeah. Bull sewage. BS, bull sewage. So anyway, if it's something you'd like to learn just a little bit about, I made a free webinar. It just kind of teaches you some stuff, but it teaches you that some of the reasons you think you can't really aren't true. So anyway, please go check it out. Learn more about it. www.justastroger.com.
Just met Roger.
Just
please.
met Roger.
As you see,
I'm gonna have to buy.
across
I'm gonna
the
have to
street.
buy that.
I'm gonna have to put it up here.
I know.
We could just do
Oh,
that.
well.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Another
Maybe.
one. We would also like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They let us come in here, hang out, and talk trades for an hour each and every day, Monday through Fridays,
Except
spend
for
lunch with
major
you.
holidays.
except for major holidays. I actually do get a couple days off throughout a year. I'm
Wow,
sorry,
wait,
guys.
What? Wow. When did? Whoa!
Oh, don't worry.
Who negotiated that?
He'll be calling me in here to do something.
When did that happen?
Well, I did that before I stepped into the lives. I made that a rule.
Oh.
So I could get 8 days off. You know, we love it. But Leak Pro does manufacture the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And I always suggest checking out the complete kit that comes with both pieces of equipment that you need for indoor and outdoor.
It's a whole business in a box, right?
That's
there.
it. Under a slab, not under a slab. The complete kit covers you. Check out the equipment at www.leak-pro.com. But also, if you want to learn how to do leak detection, how to add this into your business, how to market it for your business, any of that stuff, give us a call. We do a 2-day training to teach you every aspect of leak detection and how to promote it in your business. Give me a call direct, 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. Be happy to discuss the equipment or the training with you.
And guys, look, here's the deal. These aren't easy to find. We built a training center where it's difficult. But like we talked about earlier, once you find them here, you're like, dude, I got this. Yeah, you do. And this is a great way to grow your bottom line as a plumbing company owner. Or if you're a plumber and you want to grow your skill set to where maybe one day you're wanting to get out and open your own company, or you want to be able to come in to your boss and say, hey, look, we could start doing this because I know how to do it. I got the equipment and we can do this. So it's a possibility. Last 2 comments real quick. Says, Denver says, I ended up getting snapped on by a journeyman that didn't want to work with me because I put riser clamps in the concrete ceiling, made the drop-in anchors not straight, so rods were crooked. So learn from it, Denver. Get it right. That's what it's all about. Learn to hold that rotary hammer square.
Hold it, look at it, your angle, lean over, check the other angle real quick, and then start drilling.
And Matt says, go Leak Pro. Square has time off. I don't believe it. Yeah, he thinks he's got time off. Denver says, I feel like some journeymen don't have the patience for apprentice messing up. Denver, if they're having to tell you more than once, that's too many times. And I don't mean that bad, but you got to understand you're expected to be a journeyman one day.
Yep.
And if you keep making mistakes, they're like, look, you're never going to make it. Listen to what they say. They're educating you, but you've got to listen and be willing to learn. It's not just, hey, they're getting on me. They're trying to tell you, you need to do this right. And that's the way to listen. And I promise it'll help you.
That's it. And like, it's frustrating being the apprentice that's getting yelled at. I've been there. Try to back up, because honestly, during an apprenticeship, if you're in a 5-year, they wanted us to be able to teach brand new apprentices by our 4th year. So you've got to kind of retain the stuff. Any feedback that they give you, good, bad, or ugly, try to embrace it as quick as you can.
Guys, whatever you're doing out there today, do it safe and have fun.
Everybody, thanks for showing up. Hope to see you back here tomorrow. Get out there and hit it effing hard. Bye, guys.
See y'all.